What's happening, guys? VFM here, and I got a new OTGT for you. Today is my actual review of Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag for the PlayStation Portable, the PSP. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a huge fan of the Tenkaichi series. I've said it many times in the past. I believe the more of the games that are more kind of like burst limit and more kind of like Budokai 3, for example, are probably the best Dragon Ball Z games out there. And also Legacy of Goku series. You know, if you've ever played that on the Game Boy Advance, because even though that's an RPG, but as far as fighting games are concerned, those are the types of games that I like for the Dragon Ball Z universe. Now, that's all about the change, or at least it's starting to change now with this game. You know, here's my whole stance on it. I've played it. I was going in there expecting like, oh, okay, it's going to be exactly the same as Tenkaichi, only with more characters now. Or at least there's more characters in the playing field at the same time in the ring. So I started playing with it. I went into the story mode. I kind of gradually, you know, started going through everything. I didn't complete the entire story because it goes through the entire Dragon Ball Z saga all the way up through Majin Buu saga. But I actually started to really grow onto this game. I actually started to like it. I actually thought that it was a good idea to actually add another 2 extra fighters into the mix of the gameplay, you know, while everything's going on. So you got you and your partner versus another, an opponent and his partner. Pretty much, and all 4 of you are going at it at the same time in this huge map. And I think that's actually pretty cool. It's very similar to the idea of what Dissidia Dodecium, you know, the sequel to the City of Final Fantasy, is doing. Only this one, to me, is kind of like a preempted strike of that kind of concept before Dissidia actually hits the field. And I think that's pretty sweet. I think it works really well because you have all these huge maps, you know, in the Dragon Ball Z universe, you know, these different like arenas which you fight in, and now there's more stuff going on. You don't just have one enemy you have to find without this entire playing field. You could actually target onto another enemy that's actually going on at the same time. Maybe go fight, you know, the guy that's free, that's not doing anything, or go help out your partner and double team one guy. It kind of adds more action to the mix and actually adds more intensity to the gameplay, and it makes it more fun. I think it's pretty cool. Now, there's ad hoc play. You could actually do 2-on-2, you know, you and a buddy versus another buddy and his buddy on there. And I think that's pretty dope. You know, like I said, more fun factor. Now, it pretty much, controls exactly very similar to the other Tenkaichi games. You know, you got your 4 buttons. You know, on the PSP, you only have the 4 buttons, which are on the, square, triangle, X, and circle. Then you have the left and right buttons. Normally on the other Tenkaichi games, because you have 4 buttons on the shoulders, you have more options with different buttons that do different things, but certain actions are mapped, or certain multiple actions are mapped to just 1 button in certain cases. But I didn't really find that to be a problem in a lot of stuff, because most of the time I was really just only using the X button to actually go towards or away from my opponent, or actually use square to actually do melee attacks, triangle to actually do my energy attacks, and circle to block. And you're controlling your character not with the D-pad, because the D-pad actually ascends and descends your character into the air. I was actually using the analog stick to move my character around, which I didn't have a problem with. That's the exact same thing as the Tenkaichi games. Now, the camera. The camera wasn't such a huge deal because you could actually target lock onto a particular character, and you could also switch targets over the course of the actual match. You could switch between target 1 and target 2, him or his partner. And you never ever have to really move the camera at all. There are some cases where you could. It gives you the option to actually move the camera manually, but I really never used that. I never really found it a problem because I was always targeting one person. Now, the gameplay can get a little repetitive, like as with pretty much all Dragon Ball Z games, but if you really like that type of gameplay and you're really such a huge fan of the Dragon Ball Z universe, or the Dragon Ball universe for that matter, you're not really going to be bothered by it. You're going to enjoy yourself. It has a lot of characters to choose from. I didn't really get a particular count, but it's got a bunch of characters from Saiyan Saga to all the way up to Majin Buu Saga and then some. So I'll let you guys check all that out. I won't spoil anything for you. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. It's actually, I'm starting to become a little bit much more of a fan of this type of Dragon Ball Z game. Hopefully, you know, they kind of expand upon and actually make the gameplay a little bit better, you know, implement something new in the next installment, you know, Raging Blast 2 or Raging Blast 3 or something. And we'll hopefully, be all uphill from there. So anyway, that's just my thoughts, my review on the game. Leave your comments and video responses, guys. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys thought of this. Let everybody know your experience. You know, if you actually like this game compared to the older Tenkaichi games or your favorite Dragon Ball Z game, put it on there. I'm out, guys. VFM is gone. That was only the goddamn truth. Talk to y'all later.